In the swirling world of 19th century mysticism, a time of seances and spirit rappings, societies for psychical research, one woman stood out as both a beacon and a paradox. Her name was Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, and her wisdom would ignite a revolution, forever altering the pathway of Western spirituality. Born in 1831 in what is now Ukraine, Helena Blavatsky's early life was anything but ordinary. As a child, she reportedly experienced unexplainable visions and a fascination with the mystical. Driven by a restless curiosity, she set out as a teenager to explore the world, seeking answers to questions most never dared to ask. From Europe, she traveled to Egypt, India, Tibet, and beyond, chasing the whispers of ancient knowledge and esoteric wisdom. But it wasn't until her arrival in New York City in 1873 that her influence began to fully take root. In 1875, along with Colonel Henry Steele Olcott and a small group of seekers, Blavatsky co-founded the Theosophical Society, a movement that would become a cornerstone of spiritual thought. At the heart of Blavatsky's message was a radical notion for her time, a belief that all religions shared a universal truth, that beneath the surface of doctrine and ritual lay a single, timeless wisdom. She called it theosophy, meaning divine wisdom. And from the grand drawing rooms of Europe to the ashrams of India, this message began attracting truth seekers from every walk of life. Under her guidance, the Theosophical Society proposed three objectives. First, to form a nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity, without distinction. Second, to encourage the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. Third, to investigate laws of nature and latent human potential. In short, some of the grandest ambitions ever written on a society's founding document. Blavatsky's wisdom was not just in what she taught, but how she taught it. She insisted that true spiritual insight comes not from blind acceptance, but from direct experience and inquiry. She advocated for a synthesis of science and spirituality, a rare position in her age of materialism. One of Blavatsky's most radical contributions was her insistence on reincarnation and karma, ideas common in the East, but astonishingly new to Victorian audiences. Her assertion that life is an ongoing journey of the soul, echoing through lifetimes, offered a framework where meaning unfolded not just in one brief existence, but across a continuum. For those feeling lost in an age of industrial expansion and existential uncertainty, Blavatsky's spiritual map offered both hope and purpose. But her wisdom was not merely philosophical. She claimed first-hand contact with hidden masters of wisdom, enlightened beings she called Mahatmas, living in remote Himalayan retreats. Whether real, mythic, or visionary, these mentors taught that humanity was on a shared spiritual path. Blavatsky's revolutionary approach was deeply inclusive. At a time when women were routinely excluded from academic or spiritual leadership, she stood center stage, unapologetically learned and forthright. She welcomed people of every background to correspond, question, and contribute. Critics, both then and now, have questioned her methods, accusing her of fabrication, fraud, or simply too much imagination. Yet for every skeptic, there was an inspired follower, Annie Besant, who expanded the society's reach, Jiddu Krishnamurti, who would go on to become one of the 20th century's great spiritual teachers, and countless more, from the poets of the symbolist movement to the architects of the modern New Age. By the turn of the century, Blavatsky's wisdom had spread worldwide. Theosophical lodges blossomed in London, Paris, Bombay, Sydney, and Chicago. The movement's influence seeped far beyond its own membership, catalyzing deeper currents in art, literature, psychology, and even science. The upsurge of interest in yoga, meditation, Eastern philosophy, and spiritual healing throughout the 20th century can be traced, in part, to the groundwork she laid. Today, the questions she asked remain as vital as ever. What lies behind the surface of the world? What dormant capacities lie within us all? How can unity flourish beyond division? For those willing to look past controversy and myth, Helena Blavatsky's legacy endures, not as finished dogma, but as a living invitation. Her wisdom calls out, daring each new generation to embark on its own quest for truth, and in so doing, to revolutionize its own relationship with spirit.